Welcome to the Pick Six Podcast Show on CBS Sports HQ. That's Breach. That's Brady. If I were Brian Wilson, it would be the three Bs. Missed opportunity by my parents. Here we go. Let's talk a little NFL, specifically NFC. Got to chuckle out of Brady. Here we go. How many times can we make Brady laugh this hour? Breach. So let's talk NFC West in particular. And John, I'll start with you. Deebo Samuel, as you often do to me and Brinson on the Twitter machines there. He's back to following the San Francisco 49ers. What are your thoughts on what could end up in terms of Deebo Samuel's future? Is it in San Francisco? Is it somewhere else? Should they have traded him over the weekend during the draft? What do you think?
Well, my thoughts are if he is back to following them, that means he wasn't following them. Look, we've all been there before. If you unfollow someone on Instagram or Twitter, that's a giant red flag. That means they made you mad. Maybe they upset you. Maybe there was a breakup involved. But it's never a good thing when you unfollow someone. I can't think of one instance where someone unfollowed someone and then complimented them and then said, oh, you know what, you're so great, that's why I unfollowed you. It just doesn't happen. But I do think Deebo Samuel will be with the 49ers in 2022. If you're going to trade him, you do it during the draft when you can get the most compensation. His stock is the highest. We look at the New York Jets. They offer the 10th overall pick as part of a package to get Deebo Samuel. If you are turning down the 10th overall pick, you are not going to take any deal because I can't imagine a team offering more than that to land Deebo Samuel. And also, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have both been pretty adamant that they plan on having Deebo on the roster going into the season. So I'll be surprised if they do not, if they don't keep him.
Oh, he's going to be on the roster. It just comes down to how they're going to utilize him and if they're going to force him to play this season and not give him the extension that he's looking for. And so the question becomes, what's the extension he's looking for? I would imagine that it's somewhere in the ballpark of $25 million average annual value per year in a contract, very similar to what we saw A.J. Brown sign, and somewhere as far as guarantees at signing around $40 million, and then upwards of total guarantees around 50 plus, somewhere in that ballpark or vicinity. That's the market. That's what every wide receiver is looking for. The fact is, Deebo Samuel had a phenomenal year last year. And whether it was by design or not, it's neither here nor there. That's what him and his agent are trying to leverage to get this long-term extension with the timing at which, because he's only got one more year left on his deal, and they probably don't want to go the franchise tag route. So the reality is, I'm sure the San Francisco 49ers will offer him something, but the truth of that matter is he'll never be able to live up to that contract. If you look at, for example, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, they've only caught over 1,400 yards once in their careers. And I think you can make the case that they both played with probably the two best quarterbacks in the game, and Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes during that period. So given that we have no idea what Trey Lance is going to be, or even if Jimmy Garoppolo factors into any of this, it's probably more often than likely that you're not going to see an injury to George Kittle, issues with wide receivers, and injuries at running back position that'll cause Deebo Samuel to have as many scrimmage yards as what we had a year ago. So, look, it's great timing for him to leverage that last year's deal, but the reality is I don't know that he's going to get paid the money that he thinks he's going to get.
Brady, I got a quick follow-up because you mentioned Trey Lance. How concerned should we be? Not at all, perhaps, about where he is along in his development. We have no idea. He just didn't play. He played once last year, started once, probably played 2 games, I think. Are you at all concerned now, a year out, that he may not be the guy that Kyle Shanahan thought, or is it too early to sort of sound those alarm bells?
Well, it's too early to sound the alarm bells. Practice is practice. One thing that you could tell from Trey Lance just from a little bit he played last year, which maybe sound alarming to some people, is he looked like he wasn't ready. He looked like he was really raw, like a guy who basically started one season in his college career at a lower level. And that's exactly what took place besides one exhibition game. So he looked it, but the more he played throughout the game, the better he looked. And I think that's what this is going to come down to, is if he can continue to getting reps, getting development, he's going to play his best football still a long ways ahead of him. But are the 49ers feeling like they don't have a roster that's built to win the division and potentially win a Super Bowl at this point? That's really the question, because I think when healthy, they're fully capable of doing that. And so the question then becomes, is Trey Lance the best guy for the job right now? Probably not, but neither is Jimmy Garoppolo because his shoulders hurt. So when he comes back, if he's still on the roster, I would be more inclined to think that you put Jimmy Garoppolo in there first and then let Trey Lance come in off the bench if Garoppolo is not playing well in this hypothetical situation. But you put Trey Lance in there and he falls flat on his face, I don't know that you're coming back from that one, whether it's with Trey Lance or your fan base, and selling that he's going to be the guy.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.